G'day, awesome people. Let's get started on today's episode. G'day, trendsetters. Welcome to episode 171 of the Train Smooth podcast. My name is Tim Egg, and if you have any training, racing, or nutrition questions, jump on through to the website, trainsmooth.com, and shoot me through your questions. So today's question comes from Tim, and that just so happens to be the greatest name I've ever heard. And just on a side note for the name Tim, I'm actually third generation Tim in my family. My grandfather is Leonard Timothy Egg. My dad is Peter Timothy Egg, and I'm Timothy. And my son Jackson, he's Jackson Timothy Egg. So for some silly reason we keep the name Timothy because it's the greatest name. So question from Tim. Would it be a good idea to do a sprint distance triathlon 6 weeks out of a 70.3? It depends on what your weaknesses are, and would that time be best spent doing something else? So for instance, if you didn't have a lot of open water experience and you had a bit of fear for open water, and especially that start of a race when everyone's bashing into everyone, people swimming over top of you, every third person seems to be punching you in the back of the head, and it's not deliberate, it's all by accident. You just get a heap of people in a very small location, people just get hit. So, and if that fears you, then I would probably say, probably look at doing that. For most people, I see very little value in doing a sprint distance in a lead up to a 70.3 or an Ironman. I just think that time is best spent doing something else. Now, if you were to say, this sprint distance is 40 kilometers away, so I'm going to ride my bike there, I'll do the triathlon, and I'm going to ride it back, and maybe that night I might do a run. I think, well, that is time best spent, because you're doing something else. A sprint distance, it's not going to go very long. If you were really new to the sport, I would probably, and it's a hard one because I don't know a lot of your history. So it's just me making up a whole lot of crap here. But depends what you want to target. If you want to target this 70.3, you're trying to, check something. Checking nutrition, that's going to be a waste of time, because in a sprint distance you really either don't need any nutrition, all you need is a bit of water, or at the very most you might want to stick a sports drink in your drink bottle, and that will do you for the entire race. So you're not going to tick that. The only benefits I see is if you're really worried about the swim start, then yes, you can do that. See, most sprint distances, triathlons, they're on a Sunday. Most people available training times come Saturday and Sunday. For most people, they're able to do their long bike ride on a Saturday and their long run on a Sunday, and maybe a swim on a Sunday as well. So are you willing to sacrifice that long run for this? Now, if you're coming from a running background, and this is me assuming Sundays is your long run day, so are you willing to sacrifice that long run for a triathlon that you're not going to? It's just going to be. You're probably not going to get a lot of benefits from that. Except, see, I'm umming and ahhing here because I don't know your background. I'm making up a whole lot of stuff in my head here, trying to tick off a few different scenarios. If you come from a running background and you normally do your run on Sundays, well, you may be right missing out on a Sunday. And what are your goals for this 70.3 as well? Are you trying to go sub 5 hours? Are you trying to win your age group? Because if you're trying to do them, I'd say absolutely not. Don't even consider doing a sprint distance. That time's going to be best spent doing something for the 70.3. But if you said, it's 10 k's away, I'm going to run there. My wife's going to meet me there with my bike and wetsuit and all that stuff, and then might ride home going the long way, so I'll turn that into a 50k bike ride or a 100k bike ride on the way home. That's a good little bit of mix up. I don't know how beneficial all that's going to be, except for a good day fun. Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one, man, because I'm doing my best not to answer this question because I don't really know what you're trying to achieve. If it's just the sake of doing a sprint distance because that's your local event, I would say no, skip it. Spend that day focusing on something for that 70.3 event. If it's you're trying to target something because you're worried about something, well then yeah, go do it. If you're able to make an extra training session out of today. Now, if you said it was an Olympic distance leading into a 70.3, I'd go, yeah, do that, because you know that there would be a good bit of crossover. You can test a little bit in nutrition. You can push the pace a lot harder, and it would tick a lot more boxes, in my opinion. If you were to say you're going to do if an Olympic distance in the lead up to an Ironman, 6 weeks out, I'd be even then I'd be thinking, is there something else you could be doing with your time? That's on the fence for me. Yeah, maybe you could do it. It's not going to pee me off if you did it. It's not going to pee me off if you didn't do it. A sprint distance in the lead up to an Ironman, I can't see any value in that whatsoever. Even unless it was you're really worried about the swim and you wanted just to swim with others, then I'd be thinking, well, is Ironman really ready for you at this stage? Maybe you should be putting that off for a year or two. So I see no point in doing a sprint in the lead up to an Ironman. I see very little point doing a sprint in the lead up to a 70.3. The Olympics are a little bit different. Yeah, I hope that helps. If I had more information, I'd be able to give you a better answer. But having said that, if you're going out and you're really struggling to go out because it's whatever, you think, oh man, I really don't want to go out for this long. I normally do my long bike rides on Sunday, and you're really struggling, and all of a sudden you think to yourself, oh, I could go out, or I could watch the new season of The Crown, and you all of a sudden find yourself watching The Crown because you've got no motivation to go out. Well, you're lacking discipline for starters, but the sprint distance, well, at least you're going out and doing something. So I think I ticked off a few different scenarios. If you guys have any other training, racing, or nutrition questions, jump on through, ship me through an email, tim@trainsmooth.com. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, hooroo! See you, fellas, ladies, kids.